Okay, so I kind of just want to do this because I've been building it up in my head for, I don't know what that sound was, but we're just gonna do this real, raw, vlog style. Yeah. It's time for a major life update. I have no idea that I was gonna film this video today, by the way, so yeah, it's kind of a thing. What can I even say? What can I say? This is my 7th time, this is my 8th time filming this video, and it's okay because divine timing, everything happens in its own time, baby. It's all gonna be good. But I've been struggling to come back in this time apart, which we'll get into in a sec, of like what has been happening. The whys aren't that important. I don't even really know the whys, to be completely honest, but I do know the how I got out of it. So I want to share what has happened, just, you know, to be real with you guys. And honestly, if you're going through something similar to what I'm about to talk about, I hope that it's not triggering. I hope that this brings you a sense of peace and, I guess, oneness, that we are all in this together. We are all dealing with a lot of obstacles, whether they be emotional, mental, physical, spiritual. Like, part of life is definitely going through obstacles, and that's something that I just think this whole experience has really reminded me of. And I'm happy to be back, baby. I'm happy to be back because let's rewind a little bit. Things started to go awry several years ago. Around 2019, everything was going amazingly. Like, things were popping off, things were just doing what they needed to do, and things were feeling groovy, at least from the outside. Like, I think from the outer perspective, my life and whatever, like, you know, my life was really seemed like it was going in the right direction. What I wasn't really sharing at that point, I don't know, just years and years and years of built up emotional trauma that had not been processed, that I had pushed to the side. Basically told myself, like, you're not allowed to feel these things, so we're just gonna ignore that anything has happened, ignore any emotional abuse or scars or PTSD or whatever, just push it to the side and keep going. And I don't really want this to be taken in a way of like it wasn't authentic or like I was living this double life, because that's definitely not what it was. It was just like the internet was almost my happy place at that point, where I felt like things were okay. Like, when I can turn on that camera and be Roxette Arisa instead of Rox, or, you know, Roxette in real life, like, I have things figured out. I can like sit here and, I don't know, like do my thing and make people happy in the process. And like, yeah, I just feel like I had gone and pushed for so long. And even before I was in this whole world of content creation, I was, you know, a competitive figure skater and living a really rigorous training life. So I almost, looking back, feel like, yeah, I kind of like got to a bit of a breaking point. Also, I, on the side, which I wasn't really like super open about, I was in basically a 3-year-long situationship that was so toxic and controlling. That really like broke down little pieces of me. Like, it just chipped away at my soul to experience that. And so I was a little, you know, injured, let's call it. I was a little emotionally injured from that, while still keeping up this image of Roxette Arisa that was, you know, doing the smiling and doing the whatever, and just kind of trying to make it through. And I feel like what eventually started to happen, unintentionally, I didn't know this was gonna happen, but there became this huge separation of identity where I felt like my career was heading in this direction. I was kind of starting to break down, but I was like, no, keep going, keep going, keep going. And this whole situation pretty much triggered a existential crisis moment. And it sounds dramatic to say it like that, but like truly that is what this last couple years has been for me. It's been a moment of, who am I? What am I doing? What is my career path? What is my purpose? What is life? What is the meaning of all of this? What is the meaning? Ooh, I feel like I kind of lost myself in a sense, but like I didn't really know what that feeling actually entailed, to be honest. So I resisted it. I pushed everything to the side. I pushed all my internal emotions to the side and was like, no, you are a fighter, you are strong, and you're gonna keep going. And little did I know that was probably one of the most detrimental things, was to keep continuously having these painful experiences and just blatantly ignoring them and just like pretending that I was some sort of robot, I guess, and needing to just carry on like nothing was happening, not acknowledging my feelings, not acknowledging like being a human being, I guess, in essence. Fast forward, I meet Joe. I had no idea what a whirlwind that in itself was gonna be, because he was like my first date back, or I guess like after that, the whole situationship situation ended. And we fell in love, and that was very healing. He was like an angel in this story of darkness and clouds that came in and has really just shown me, I guess, a lot of unconditional love and acceptance. And when he started to show me this love, this acceptance, I was kind of like almost in shock, because A, I had never been treated like that. B, I don't treat myself like that, or at least I didn't at that time. So I was kind of like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. At this point, the pandemic hits. Socially and politically, I feel like there was just a lot of divide in 2020, and that whole period really made me question a lot, and I felt wrong to post about beauty products, to be completely frank, at a time when the world was just needing a lot more of something else. Like, I felt like I was taking up space, and I don't know if this is good or bad or whatever, but I'm just, again, keeping it real. All of a sudden, this career path that I felt like I was building, I just questioned it. It came to the point where I had to basically turn inward. I can be a little sensitive, so it really got to me. And because I'm not only sensitive, but also very passionate, I take things heavy. Like, when I feel something, I feel it to my bones. And it's like, it's a good thing in a lot of ways, but yeah, I was sent into a little bit of a struggle. That kind of opened Pandora's box. That kind of was the moment where all this stuff that I had nicely tucked away came back out and was like, you gotta deal with this. You gotta deal with this. I don't even know, like, you just have to put on your big girl pants and deal with a lot of the stuff that you have just respectfully ignored. Things started to feel just like, for lack of better terms, almost very out of control. Like, it just got bad, and then it got worse, and then it got worse, and it felt like there was a time period where it was pretty much just setback after setback after setback after setback. And as much as I would try to like pick up the pieces and pull myself back together, the things that I had always done, the things that I had always relied on weren't working anymore. Like, I was literally at a breaking point and feeling so lost from myself, from the person I thought that I was, from the person that I am actually. Like, I felt very, again, separated, lost, like distant. It was a pretty interesting feeling. Not great. I would not recommend it, but definitely a moment for me. I don't know, like, I'm not really trying to go too into detail with it, because it's like, at the end of the day, like, the whys aren't as important as the how you get out, how you grow and resurface and get stronger. And that is what this whole story is about. So basically, every time I would think that I was at like rock bottom, it would get worse. I got real stuck, real stuck in almost like a cycle of guilt, shame, comparison, self-imposed questioning, analyzing, and judgment. And that was so deeply toxic because I had already, through my life, feel like I had been given situations where I survived. Like, I survived the emotional hurdles that were coming my way, and some of which, I literally don't even know if I'll ever really be able to talk about online. But that being said, surviving those external hurdles was very different than surviving the internal hurdles, because it was almost like I was against myself, and it became this cyclical thing of deep depression, to the point where I can't get out of bed, can't go about my day, can't even eat. Joe had to feed me at points, and I'm not being dramatic. I was trying so hard to pull myself out of this hole, and somehow I just got deeper and deeper and deeper. It prolonged the process a lot because I was caught up in guilting myself through this experience instead of just accepting what was happening. I would get really caught up in self-imposed guilt of why are you doing this? Why are you acting like this? You're lazy, you're a failure, you're this, you're that. I would literally bully myself when I looked in the mirror, and it was not great, love. It wasn't great. But at this point, I am caught up in this cycle, and I feel like it's important to note that whatever we're doing as human beings, it's very easy to get caught up in that type of cycle, obviously differing for different situations, but it can eat away at you, and those low vibration feelings can literally steal joy, steal happiness, steal so much from this experience of life, and make you feel so lost. The craziest thing though was that it was just all coming from me. From an outside perspective, again, at this point, I feel like you wouldn't have really guessed, I was still hiding it pretty well. Every single one of us goes through obstacles, legit, every single person, even if you feel whoever, the people that you look up to may have these perfect lives. Every single person goes through obstacles, but it's how, and I'm realizing this now, how you get through them, how you overcome them, and how you just accept this human experience that things are not always going to go exactly your way. And it's okay, because I took the time to just kind of accept that I'm human. That in itself was empowering, liberating. It brought this sense of freedom for the first time in my life. And I have lived a very structured life, growing up as a figure skater and being really hardcore into that whole world, and then moving directly into content creation and social media and influencer. It created a bubble of perception that was impermeable. What was that at the end? Now we're in thrive mode. So let me tell you how we got here, how we got to a more empowered us. It is a daily work. It's spiritual practice, baby. You gotta put into practice whenever you have emotional hurdles come up. And for me, in my journey, I found that this combination of holistic healing work and traditional CBT therapy has been just this game changer for me, because I'm getting the really logical cognitive behavioral work, which I started with in this whole journey. And I'm also for me, I've always been a spiritual type of gal. So the holistic healing speaks to me in a completely different light. It gives me empowerment. We connect to my inner child. We do shadow work. We do movement. We kind of do it all. It's like a 360, and it's really fun work that makes it fulfilling because I connect to it, because I understand it, because it speaks to my soul in a way that maybe some other things that I tried didn't as much. And that was just through trying different things. And again, the commitment that I figured that out. And, I want to mention this because I want to be able to come on here and be as real and authentic with you guys as possible. And, at one point, I'm the type of person that I'm saying I'm very spiritual, I'm very holistic, I'm very naturopathic, and I am kind of the type of person that I don't I like don't even like to take Tylenol or anything, but things at one point were getting to a really, really dark place. I was kind of at my last resort. Things didn't feel like they were working, and it just felt like at this point the next right step was basically to try out an SSRI. Things got better for a little bit, then they flatlined, and then a couple months later, when things still were continuing not to like really improve, we decided then to go up in dosage because again, it like wasn't really seeming to work anymore. So I go up, and that's when things got manic. Like this was literally the lowest of the lows that I had felt. Even though I thought I was at my rock bottom several times before this was actually like, this was the rock at the bottom of the sea. I didn't really know how it was affecting me until afterwards, until I can like look back on it. But in that moment, I kind of felt like a zombie version of myself. Like I was walking and feeling and breathing, but like not actually there. Like it almost was, again, that separation feeling, which just made things get crazy for a bit. But it's okay because everything happens for a reason. Something in my intuition, something in my body against what everybody was telling me was just kind of bringing this to light and being like, I don't know, maybe this like little journey that you've been on with the meds is not for you. And everybody's gonna be different. Every single person is going to react differently to anything you try. And again, what I'm saying is it's all about the trial and error. But for me, I just kind of had an adverse reaction. And the reason why I bring this up is not to tell you guys not to take your medications. I am not a mental health professional, and I would never tell you guys to do that. But just to share my experience of when I got off of it, because that was an absolutely pivotal moment in this whole storyline, because that was a moment where I took my body, my mind, my soul into my own hands. Prior to this point, you have to know that like I'm the type of person that will go above and beyond to please every single person around me above myself. So if any sort of professional was telling me to do something, there was no way in hell that I would ever go against that or not do what I was told, because that's just how I was wired, I think. And definitely how I was, I don't know, just how I grew up, how I was. I was like, this isn't working. I need to get back to the basics, start to like really take into account what all is happening. How are things affecting me? What are the things that I'm doing in my day that are getting me deeper and deeper and deeper into this feeling, to the point where I can't even get out of bed most days. I have to clear my schedule for weeks on end, even though I'm in a position that I'm so grateful for and in a career path that I had already at this point become so awarely grateful and just appreciative of every opportunity. It was like my physical body was pushing back on me. It was like, you know, you've tried to resist this for so long, and even in the process, prolonged the process by resisting and resisting and resisting. And this was it. I had, in this moment, in this chapter of the story, lost the will to eat, lost my love of food, which for me was a very, very, I kind of want to call it like an out-of-body experience, because I love food. Honestly, food is my love language. So to lose that feeling, to lose that love of something I have loved for my literal entire life, was very like unreal. It was strange. But to address the elephant in the room, you know, I know that I've changed a lot, and I think change can come with a negative connotation. So we're gonna use the word evolve. I've evolved a lot, and my physical body, my physical appearance has actually changed a ton over the last couple years. Not with surgeries or buccal fat removal like a lot of people like to pin on me, but actually just like, one, it was the losing the love to eat. That was depression. So yeah, so as I weaned off of the SSRI, things started to feel so much better. Like I started to feel like myself again. It started to feel like the light was just turned back on. Like even like little things, like my little movements and things that make me had gone away, and now they were back. And it was extremely empowering to make this decision for myself as an innate people pleaser that has always prioritized every single person over myself, the empowerment that I got, and honestly, the sheer gratefulness that I got for feeling what it was like at my baseline again, because I had felt the rock bottom. I had felt how dark it got for me. And that was the catalyst for what has now been a really amazing period of about, I think that was like 7 months ago now. So about 7 months of growth and healing and taking it day by day. It's that type of thing where like you don't really know what's happening in the moment, and then you get, you know, a year, a couple months down the line, and you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, this was my path of growth and healing and learning. Now I'm up here and I was down here, and things have gone in such a great direction. But it's really about committing yourself to actually prioritizing this self-work, actually prioritizing self-love in your life, actually prioritizing, you know, showing up for yourself day after day and not losing hope. That's the biggest thing, because there were a lot of moments where I thought I was going to lose hope, and then I, you know, somehow simmered up some inner resilience that has just made me stronger. One foot in front of the next. That's what it's about. I do want to point out that for every single person, this is going to be completely different. Like, you really have to do your own work throughs, your own trial and errors, your own ways of figuring out like who you are and what brings you inner peace, balance, joy, like all these different aspects of the human experience, not to get real deep, but if you can implement little, like a toolkit for yourself that you customize and nurture to be all the things that fill up your cup and protect your energy, like that's it, like that's the goal, that's the key. So for me, setting up a routine, game changer. Meditation, affirmations, even if you think that they're not working, they actually do, because I've had definitely those thoughts before where I'm like, dude, this is like, what am I doing? But again, the affirmations have helped a lot, like actually being able to look in the mirror and tell myself that I love myself. Journaling, walking, getting some movement in the body. Also just like treating my body with care, my mind, body, and soul. So that's reading, the journaling, the creative writing, the meditations, the books, like it all helps. And it's all just about, again, figuring out the ways to make your toolkit work for you. Like that's how I think about it. And some weeks are going to be completely different. Like I'm now finding that not a lot, but like some of these emotional tendencies are actually hormone based. During the luteal phase, like my toolkit is probably gonna be a little different because I'm gonna need some extra TLC during that time. And now I'm starting to realize that. So it's not knocking me off my feet the same ways as it once did. And like, if it does knock me off my feet, that's okay too, because a part of this experience is just accepting that like, I surrender to the flow of life. I release control because that's the way I'm gonna get through this. And that is one of the biggest pieces of advice that I can give you guys is like, stay determined, stay hardworking, stay motivated, but give yourself patience and understanding, because without that, without your own love for yourself, your own understanding for yourself, the machine don't run. Like we're out of commission, and that's kind of where I found myself. So I will say support is huge. And there's like a million things that I could honestly go into, because truly like the energy that I've been on for the last couple years is reviving Rox and trying to bring back that love for life and love for creating and love for myself. Honestly, like that's kind of a recurring theme because it's very true and was kind of needed in that point. But another big thing, just refinding my inner artist, finding that creation, that like joy in creating again, and not just for social media, but like actually just living and breathing different art forms to find what speaks to me. I've been singing, songwriting, doing ceramics, painting, writing poems, like just kind of exploring all these different areas of creativity and finding that like connection with my soul. It's almost like a form of soul care, honestly, to yeah, just reignite your inner artist, your inner creativity. We're all creators, we're all in creation. It's so underrated, honestly. Like now that I'm talking about it, you can see this like light and joy that's coming out because it is underrated. That feeling of creating something just for the art of creating it, even if nobody else in the world ever sees that piece of whatever it is that you're making, that is invaluable to my soul, at least. And I think to hopefully you guys. You know, if any of you are experiencing something like this, you're not alone. I get it, I feel it, I have been through it. And I guess I'm just here to like reintroduce myself to you guys because I do feel like I'm kind of a new person. Like not only just physically do I look different, but like internally, like I'm still the same Roxette, but she's evolved, she's grown, she is just thriving and vibing, and I'm excited to like reintroduce this new version. I don't want to say new, but like I'm excited to introduce Rox to you guys because I feel like you guys have seen a lot of Roxette Arisa, who is still a person and a part of me that I love dearly, but at the same time, like she is a multifaceted human being and finally coming into the strength of what that means. And we're here to juice things up a little. I really miss you guys. Like genuinely, I know that's like, I don't know, cliche to say or something, but it just feels like this is my home. I don't know, this feels like home, a homecoming, you know? Look at this look, like it honestly just came together so fast. The finishing touches just always get me, like it gets me going to like see the difference. But anyways, yeah, I am very excited to be back and better than ever, honestly, no cap. You might be in for a bit of a, not like a surprise, but like, I don't know, I think I'm gonna switch up content a little bit just so I can feel this newfound freedom, newfound liberation that is radiating through my body, mind, and soul. That's like the common theme of this because the trifecta is essential, but you know, just whatever comes to me. That's my new vibe, is I'm taking things a little lighter these days, not putting so much pressure on every little aspect of life because it's all gonna work out. It always has been gonna work out, and it always will work out. And as long as we keep that in our minds, you know, good things are coming. So anyways, I just say all that to say, like, it's a new beginning. I'm sending lots of love and lots of hugs and can't wait to just embark on, yeah, a whole new renaissance of who I am and hopefully what I can bring to the table and how I can impact you guys. So I love you all, and you are beautiful inside and out. It feels so nostalgic to say that, but yeah, I really love you guys. I have missed you so dearly, and I am grateful to still have this opportunity and platform to come on here and make this video, and hopefully it reaches, you know, somebody that this makes a difference for. So anyways, that's all I'm trying to do, and we're gonna live our best lives together. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.